everyone. This is meteorologist Barrett Phillips here, giving you a very important update that we have this afternoon. Unfortunately, we do have a tornado warning that's in effect for parts of southern Kiowa County and also a lot of northern Tillman County here. This right here was actually near the Manitou area, actually just east of Tipton, and this circulation is moving to the east at about 30 miles per hour. Radar indicated. Don't have anything observed as of yet, but radar indicated. And so once again, this right here is over the Manitou area, moving east-northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So if we can go ahead and take a look at the velocities, you can see the center of circulation right in here. And so it's right over the Manitou community as we speak right now. Radar indicated rotation. So what you're going to want to do if you're in Manitou or near Manitou is go ahead and take shelter, get underground if you can. Now, I know a lot of people don't have basements, but go ahead and get into your storm shelter and also get away from the windows in the most interior room of the home. So if you have a basement, go underground. If you don't, then you can get in the most interior room of your home or your storm shelter, whether that's in your basement or in your house, wherever your storm shelter is located. So you're going to want to go ahead and take shelter immediately as of right now. So once again, radar indicated rotation. We have not gotten confirmation of anything or seen anything hit the ground, but you can definitely see that it has a somewhat of a well-defined mesocyclone in it, and so we're tracking this as we speak right now. Here's Indiahoma. It'll be near the Indiahoma area here in the next 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes or so. Go ahead and, what'd you say? Okay. All right, now, do we have Jared on? Can he speak to us? So this right here is a look at the Storm Hunter powered by Patrick Casino and Hotel. You can see a lot of heavy rainfall and pretty dark out there with the cloud coverage, that's for sure. He is actually just right here, just west of the center of circulation. Can we get Jared on the phone?
Jared, whenever you're ready to talk, man.
Okay, Jared's
Yeah, Barrett, so I'm on Highway 5 heading into the west side of Tipton, coming up on the backside of this tornado warning in Manitou, so I'm still about 10 minutes probably away from getting there to see what's going on right now. All we're getting in the Tipton area is just heavy rain, a lot of lightning with this storm, strong winds, but I'm going to head to the Manitou area and see if I can see anything on this tornado warning as far as any damage or if this thing's still on the ground. Back to you in the studio.
Okay, thank you for that report, Jared. So we'll go ahead and take a full screen of the radar again, or maybe a full screen of the radar again. You do notice this severe thunderstorm warning. Actually, that's a new one. Alex, why don't you give us an update with this new warning?
Yeah, so this new severe thunderstorm warning encompasses part of that tornado warning, but just the whole line of storms in general, if I keep zooming out here. It's issued for 70-mile-per-hour winds and less than quarter-size hail. I believe it is. Let me click on it, make sure I got my information right. Yeah, 70-mile-per-hour winds, and the hail size is smaller than quarters. So mainly just a wind threat with the severe thunderstorm warning, and that it's you can see that big yellow box that encompasses your whole screen there. That's the new warning that just got issued. A lot of lightning in there. I'm going to turn that lightning off so it's a little bit easier to see what's going on in there. It is a little bit of a messy system. You can see not a lot of activity sporadically throughout there, but 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible, all in that big severe thunderstorm warning.
Okay, so 70-mile-per-hour wind gust and also the tornado threat with it as well. So we have kind of a cluster of storms, as you can see right here. And the gusty winds, that's going to make the rain blow sideways, that's for sure. So we'll go ahead and zoom back in on the tornado warned storm, as you can see right here. And this storm is going to be having some heavy rain with it. And so it's going to be pretty, if it is producing anything, it'd be pretty heavily rain wrapped. You probably wouldn't even be able to see it. And so that's one of the reasons why you want to go ahead and take this tornado warning pretty seriously, because if it does reach the ground, or if it is on the ground, you're not going to be able to see it because it'd be too rain wrapped. But we don't have anything observed that we've seen yet. Jared hasn't seen anything yet that he has observed. And so I do want to remind people that these tornadoes can spin up very quickly and dissipate very quickly. They can spin up in a matter of seconds. And so you definitely want to go ahead and take this very seriously. And this right here is the center of circulation right over Manitou right now. Alex, give us this update.
Yeah, so it looks like they just continued the warning, kind of trimming out the backside of it to where some areas are now clear of the warning as it continues to move forward pretty quickly. Still moving towards the east at about 30 miles per hour. So the speed remains the same, and it's in effect still until 2:15 p.m. So that means we got about at least 20 more minutes on this storm. There really hasn't been any changes in terms of no one's seeing it observed. I do see one report in here saying that if there is a tornado on the ground, it's probably heavily rain wrapped because someone's saying there's a lot of rain in that system. So I mean that's not surprising at all. If we can switch back to radar and we can see just how much rain is in this system. I mean messy system overall, not your classic supercell structure with this rotation. So I'm not surprised in the slightest that this would be rain wrapped, which means you got to take it more seriously. It means you're not going to see it coming. It just might be there in the matter of seconds by the time you see it. So you need to be sheltering in place and getting away from windows, whatever you need to do, get to your safe place because this storm, you're not going to see it coming. You may see the lightning and thunder, but you're not going to see the tornado if it is putting one on the ground. So you just got to treat it like it is on the ground.
Yeah, if we can zoom into the roads here, I believe that's State Highway 183 right in here. Is that right, Alex?
183 going north to south.
Yeah, north to south. And then we have, what is that, Highway 5?
5C, it looks like. Yeah.
5C. So we have State Highway 5C right in here, east to west, and then we have 183 that goes north to south. They cross-sect in the Manitou, as you see right there. And I also do want to note, on top of the it being rain wrap scenario that, you know, we're in a pretty moist atmosphere right now. So this right here is not really your classic spring setup where you have dew points, you know, near 70 with a temperature in the upper 80s or near 90. You know, it really isn't that type of a setup. This is more of a moist setup. You have dew points in the upper 60s. You may be saying, well, the dew point's not quite as high as what you can get in the spring. But the thing about it is your temperatures are only in the low to mid 70s as of right now. And so what that is able to do is allow the cloud base to get lower to the ground, and whenever that's the case, it allows maybe for some quick spin ups throughout the area. And so for today, you know, we kind of have that moist environment where you can get these very quick spin ups that spin up very quickly in a matter of seconds, and then they may dissipate 10 minutes later or something like that. And so we really have kind of a real moist atmosphere on our hands right now, that's for sure. And so we're going to go ahead and kind of track this down the road. Indiahoma, you all are not in the tornado warning as of right now, but later on down the road, you definitely could be if the circulation continues to hold together. Again, this is moving to the east, northeast at about 30 miles per hour, and so it'll be your area here in about 220 here in about the next 25 minutes or so. And so, Alex, if we can just go ahead and zoom out so we can take a look at the rest of southwest Oklahoma. You do notice a gusty winds, up to 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts within this cluster of storms, as you see right here, and along that with that tornado warning as well. And so if we can go a little bit further to the south where it fits in on the screen there, there we go. You do notice some activity near Frederick and Vernon again. Once we go further south toward Archer City, there's even some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And once again, this line of storms is moving east at about 50 miles an hour still. So these storms are starting to pick up pace as this system continues to evolve for this evening. But not going to spend much time on that. Let's get back to the tornado warning across parts of the Manitou area. And once again, so this right here is the Comanche County line. So all of Comanche County is clear as of right now. Now later on down the road, this could include parts of the Indiahoma area, Comanche County. But as of right now, this is in effect for parts of southern Kiowa County and getting into northern Tillman County as of right now. And I believe this right here is the county line between the two. But anyways, you could notice that circulation right in here. Why don't we go back to the velocities, Alex, and we'll take a look at the velocities. You notice why don't you freeze the velocities down here and just very slowly roll through it. So you can see a little bit of rotation. There's a little bit of a notch right in there. That notch continues, and then it looks like it may have kind of weakened a little bit. Maybe a little bit, but it was very small in nature to begin with. So I'm not saying there's not any more rotation with it or anything. I'm just saying based off of the last radar scan, it looks maybe better than not, but we'll have to see if it holds. It could come right back. So again, these things can form in a matter of seconds and kind of fluctuate in a short amount of time. Alex, what do you see there with the velocities?
Yeah, I just wanted to, I'm seeing the same thing as you. It doesn't look quite as impressive to me as what it was just a little bit ago. But I do want to point out here that the storm, it is moving pretty quickly. And while Indiahoma, you're not in the warning right now, I would treat it like you are in the warning, because if this circulation does find a way to get itself back together, which is very possible. We're in an environment conducive for Indiahoma. It looks like it's heading directly towards your location. So we'll see if that tornado warning gets extended or not based on what the circulation does. But Indiahoma, I would just be getting into your safe place right now, because regardless, you're only going to have 10, 15 minutes of leeway. I wouldn't gamble with seeing if this tornado warning is going to get extended or not. I would just be getting into your safe place right now. Better to be safe than sorry on that.
Yes, and how quickly is this moving again?
It's labeled as 30 miles per hour.
30 miles per hour.
I think it's picked up a little speed since then, personally.
Yeah, the storms have been picking up speed today, that's for sure, and we'll probably start to pick up speed on the north side as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the hail. Is there any hail associated near the circulation? Not really, so that's a little bit of good news there. But again, with how moist the atmosphere is, you can get that to be the case. Like I said, this is not a typical spring setup or scenario. So you do notice a couple severe thunderstorm warnings associated with this. The larger one across Snyder, Frederick, getting into Chattanooga. And then you have another kind of polygon over here, a smaller one from Chattanooga to the Cache area there. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at the radar. You know, it's just a broad area of rain and storms, a lot of lightning associated with it. Can we get the lightning off? There we go. And so anything that this may be producing tornadic-wise right in here toward the Manitou area would be a rain wrap, that's for sure. You wouldn't be able to see it. And again, these things can spawn up pretty quickly. And so you want to go ahead and take that pretty seriously. You do notice this line continues on to the south toward Electra. And this severe thunderstorm warning is for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail, I believe. And so this is continuing to move to the east at about 30 miles per hour. Let's get back to the tornado warning, kind of zoom in on some of the key locations and maybe even some roads. So you got Manitou here, the center of circulation up in here, moving pretty quickly. Indiahoma, you're over here, as you can see. You're just off to the east of this storm. You do notice that right in here is kind of the center of the circulation. Like I said, it looks like the circulation has weakened a little bit over the last radar scans. Let's zoom out a little bit. It's hard. There we go. And so you can see, even if this isn't producing anything on the ground, you're still going to see up to 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. You can see those bright greens right in there. And so it's not just a tornado threat, it's also the high wind threat as well. But see, an EF0 tornado is only about 60 to 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts or wind speeds. And so since we have 70-mile-per-hour winds within this cluster of storms, I mean, that's almost like an EF1, if you will. So regardless, you're going to want to go ahead and take these winds pretty seriously as they roll through the area. And so you notice Storm Hunter over here, powered by Apache Casino and Hotel to your left over here. And you can see things look pretty dark out there, and also a lot of heavy rainfall as well. He's on Highway 5C there. Near the Manitou area, as you can see right in here, maybe just north of Highway 5C. It looks like he may be on 183 now, but he's actually just west of the center of circulation, as you see right here. Let's go ahead and do away with the polygons and zoom out just a little bit. Okay, hold it right there. Now go to your velocities. Okay, so the winds here look to be pretty linear right in here. Again, you had a little bit of that notch or rotation right in here that spurred up the tornado warning. And so it looks like that's weakened a little bit. So things are looking better now than what they were 10 minutes ago, that's for sure. And Alex has another update.
Yeah, so it's actually not on this storm. We have another storm now down in south of the Red River. I'm going to switch back to radar here so we can see what's going on. We have this new severe thunderstorm warning for looks like the mostly Clay County as well as a little bit of Wichita County there, and they have put a tornado possible tag on this severe thunderstorm warning for the Windthorst area. So let's go ahead and see if we can see that circulation at all that they're talking about. There's a little bit of rotation when they put a tornado possible tag on these severe thunderstorm warnings, because it's just like there's circulation that they're monitoring, but it's not enough to warrant the tornado warning yet. So this is a storm to pay attention to closely, especially because on its current trajectory right now, it's going to probably cross into Oklahoma here at some point in the next hour. But right now, it's going into Clay County, and the immediate area of
right
interest,
in there is that center of circulation near Windthorst.
Yeah, so Windthorst, you're in the immediate area of circulation, and regardless of the circulation or not, it is for 70-mile-per-hour winds. So it's going to be some pretty strong winds regardless of if there's a tornadic activity.
Almost kind of the same scenario what's going on in southwest Oklahoma right now. But if we could go ahead and zoom out and go back to radar here, we'll spend a little bit more time on this as this continues to roll on to the east at about 50 miles an hour or so. So once again, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and you said quarter-size hail with this?
I'll have to double-check that, but yes,
but
I believe
regardless,
that's right.
the winds are the primary concern with this line of storms that are rolling through from Archer City to Bowie. And you do notice some activity over here from Bowie to the Decatur area as well. Now, we'll go back up to southwest Oklahoma here. Let's go ahead and take another velocity look with this activity over here with this tornado warning. You do notice that things have broadened out quite extensively and kind of maybe shifted to the north a little bit there. You notice maybe a little bit of a lull or lightning in the winds here, kind of a gap there from 5C over just north to where Jared's actually at right now. So the heaviest of the winds between Snyder and Indiahoma. As you can see, Jared is actually just behind the storm there, following it as it continues on to the northeast at about 30, 35 miles an hour. And that's what we're looking at as of right now. So Indiahoma, you're going to want to have a heads up of what's going on and take this very seriously. Once again, you're not in the tornado warning. We'll see if they extend this or not. But this right here was in effect until about 2:15 for another 8 or 9 minutes or so. Let's go back to the radar.
And then I do have another update as well, not related to the radar, but we do have a new tornado watch that just got issued for, it's going to include portions of eastern Texoma. I can pop it up whenever you want to, Barrett. Actually, we'll go ahead and pop it up right now, what the tornado watch looks like for a more favorable environment. It does include pretty much all of our eastern counties here in Texoma and a lot of the same areas that saw that tornadic activity yesterday. So we're going to keep a close eye on this. I don't have the exact details in front of me of when it expires, but just know 8 p.m. Okay, perfect, 8 p.m. So we're going to keep monitoring this and going into the evening hours. So you got to keep an eye on that radar. Even if you're not seeing anything right now in eastern Texoma, keep a close eye.
Yeah, we do have the tornado watch that's in effect through the rest of the evening hours for the eastern areas, and this does include Jefferson, Stevens, Grady, and also Caddo counties, and includes the Chickasha, Duncan area down to the Red River as well. So we can go ahead and go back to radar. You notice this activity over here, still a kind of a cluster, if you will, just heavy rainfall, heavy activity, a lot of lightning with this cluster of storms as this continues to move on to the northeast there. That tornado warning still ongoing here, but it does look like the circulation has broadened out quite a bit. We haven't gotten any observations or anything like that. But if anything did occur or is occurring, it would be likely rain wrapped with all the rains going on around it. And kind of zoom out a little bit and go back to the velocities, if you will. So you notice you kind of have two areas of higher wind speeds here, one over here towards State Highway 62, another one down in here with kind of a lull in between. We can go ahead and zoom in here near where Jared's at and kind of that northern batch of winds.
The National Weather Service did just point out new circulation popping up for this Indiahoma area. So technically it's out of the tornado warning. If they're pointing out a circulation, wouldn't be surprised if this gets issued in the next minute or two. Now. So Indiahoma, get to your safe place right now. And I actually just see it right now getting confirmed. They're going to issue a tornado warning, and it's actually going to extend into, it looks like, as far west or east as the city of Lawton, if potentially. So got to keep a very close eye on this here because it's probably going to include both Cache and Lawton. We'll have it on your screen momentarily, but new circulation.
Okay, so it does look like this is the first time this has happened this evening, but it does look like these storms are doing their best to kind of recycle, if you will, kind of cycle back around. So one, area may weaken a little bit, then it spurs up another area, and this activity is continuing to move on to the east. There we go. And you notice this is near Indiahoma. So Indiahoma, go ahead and take shelter right now. And basically, you're going to want to go underground if you can. If you can't, get into your storm shelter or storm safe place. If you don't have a storm shelter, then get into the most interior room of the home and stay away from the windows. So that's what you're going to want to do. Get in a storm shelter, storm safe place, most likely the most interior room of the home. And this tornado warning now does include the Cache area and actually Lawton as well. Now the actual activity is just to the west of Lawton, getting in on Indiahoma and getting pretty close to Cache as we speak. But Lawton, you're in the tornado warning as we speak right now. And so you do notice the center of circulation over here just to the south and west of Cache. So Indiahoma, Cache, go ahead and make sure you're in your tornado safe space as we speak, because we do have that potential of a tornado. Once again, we have not seen or confirmed anything, but we do have a new area of circulation that has spurred up, and this is going to continue to move on to the north and east with time. Also associated with this cluster of storms are 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and we're actually kind of tracking it out here. You notice Cache, it's pretty much in your area now. The Tupa area, it'll be in your area here in the next 20 minutes or so.
Oh, I apologize.
And then Lawton, it'll be in your area here in the next 20 minutes or so as well. There was a TV there in the monitor I had to push away. But anyways, you do notice that this right here is moving to the east-northeast. So Elgin, you're actually just downstream from this warning. But Lawton, Fort Seal, also Cache, Indiahoma, you all are in the tornado warning as we speak. So what you're going to want to do is make sure that you're in your storm safe space, whether that's a basement, whether that's a storm shelter, or whether that's the most interior room of your home. But if you don't have the first two, the most interior room of the home is the safest place to be if you don't have a bona fide storm shelter, if you will, a tornado shelter. And so stay away from the windows. What you can do as well is you can get blankets or mattresses, also pillows, and cover yourself with them as you get into the most interior room of the home. And you can also put on a helmet as well, baseball helmet or motorcycle helmet as well, to protect and shield your head from any flying debris. And remember your duck rules. Get downstairs. Again, that's the basement part, or maybe if you're in a second-story building, maybe you get down on the first floor, lowest level that you can, underneath something. And so once again, you're going to want to get underneath like maybe some blankets or a mattress that can help cover you. One may say a desk, if you will, something hard like that. Center part of the house, that's where you get into the centermost portion of the room. And the reason why that's the safest place of the home is because you have as many walls between you and the outside elements as possible. The more barriers those winds have to break, the harder it is to break them. And so usually the most interior room of the home, which is usually a closet or maybe even a bathroom at times. Keep away from windows, of course. You definitely don't want to be around windows because windows can shatter, and that becomes pretty dangerous, not just when it comes to flying debris, but also the sharpness of the glass as well. So here's a look at your tornado warning. You do notice the center of circulation over Indiahoma as of right now. This right here, State Highway 62. And you can see things starting to kind of bow out a little bit on the south side here, kind of curl in on the north side there. That would be the center of your circulation. Let's go ahead and take a look at velocities again, Alex. And you can see that center of circulation right in here. Honestly, it's not the most impressive circulation I've ever seen, but nonetheless, in the moist environment that we're in, how low the cloud level or the cloud base is, it does make it easier for these small spin-ups to occur and these small spin-ups to reach the ground, if you will. It only takes seconds for it to happen. Yes, Alex?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out real quick, you were kind of pointing this out as well, but that circulation was on the northern half of that warning, so they actually just issued a new tornado warning as well to now include the northern half of Comanche County, which has Medicine Park. It looks like it kind of extends towards the Apache area. This is obviously going to have the refuge in there as well. So they have a new tornado warning that they kind of both coexist together almost in a way, encompassing a couple circulations in there. So pretty big tornado warning now encompassing majority of Comanche County.
Yes, that's definitely for certain. And like you said, the center of circulation was kind of moving north a little bit there. You may have another area of circulation right in here as well that they're looking at, but really just kind of a dangerous situation going on. We have not seen or observed anything, so they are radar indicated. But once again, with how moist the atmosphere is, and these things can spur up pretty quickly, especially the small type of tornadoes, if you will. But you do notice that this severe thunderstorm warning does still have 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts associated with it, along with quarter-size hail. And so
the winds,
Sorry,
just to jump in real quick, they did also note just a couple of minutes ago that 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts will be possible inside of this tornado warning as well. Even though they don't have a severe thunderstorm warning on it, they put 80-plus mile-per-hour wind gusts possible. So even stronger winds.
Yes, so the winds are even stronger, and whenever it comes to, even if we don't have a tornado that's reached the ground, 60 to 85 mile-per-hour wind speeds, that's about an EF0. Once you get about 85 to 100, that's about an EF1. Roughly. And so, the winds themselves are pretty strong, and they're going to do some damage. And so whenever it comes to the winds, if you're anywhere near the warnings that you see right here, you're going to want to go ahead and make sure that you're away from the windows. If you're if you're in the tornado warnings, you're going to want to go ahead and make sure that you're in your tornado safe space, whether that's a tornado shelter or the most interior room of your home, or a basement if you have one of those. But this activity in general continues to move on to the east at a pretty decent clip, east-northeast, as you see right in there. A lot of lightning, a lot of heavy rainfall associated with it. Once again, Lawton, Fort Sill, Medicine Park, Cache, Indiahoma. Are there any communities right in here west of Medicine Park? The Holy City would be in that.
I would say that should be the refuge. There shouldn't
the
be
refuge. There's
too much
the
going on. I mean, Lake Latonka, that's, there's going to be people in that area. A lot of communities all around here got to be sheltering in place right now. If you're not there, go there immediately.
And you can see here on the last radar scan, can you stop it on the last scan? You do notice right in here, starting to come out a little bit, going inward, probably got some circulation right in there. And so once again, the radar that we're using is the Frederick radar. And so we're in the reflectivity kind of phase of the radar. But you can see the center of circulation right in here, and kind of you can see the rain kind of wrapping around as well. So the center of circulation here would definitely be rain wrapped. If we can go to the velocities, and the reason why I mentioned the position of the radar is because where you have the reds is basically winds going away from the radar. Where you have greens are winds going toward the radar. So can we zoom in on the center of circulation on Cache right now and kind of zoom in on this area so you can see the center of circulation over Cache right now, especially the north side of Cache, and this activity continues to move up toward the Holy City. So the Holy City, you all are next on this, and once again, this right here is some rotation that we have in the atmosphere. It's not the most impressive rotation, but definitely enough. You can see a small spin up from this, that's for sure. And so if you're in the Holy City, go ahead and make sure that you're in your tornado safe space, whether that's a tornado shelter or the most interior room of the home, and definitely stay away from the windows, because regardless, you're going to get up to 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts as this cluster of storms roll through. And it's going to be heavy rainfall throughout the area, kind of that sideways rain, if you will, wind-driven rain. And so we're all going to see that, definitely. There's Lawton Acres, Medicine Park, Meal.
I really want to point out Medicine Park here. I feel like that based on the way I'm seeing that trajectory of it, it could go right over Medicine Park, that circulation. So on Medicine Park, I would get in your safe place immediately. I mean, everyone in that tornado warning should be getting in their safe place, but the most prominent circulation I'm seeing right now, which is, I'll draw it on your screen, right in here. It looks like it's heading right in this direction for Medicine Park. So get in your safe place and take cover now.
Yes, definitely. And so you're going to want to do that for Medicine Park. I believe Mears. Can we zoom in a little bit more? I believe Mears is in this area as well. But you have the park up there. You have Lawton Acres. You have the Holy City. There's Medicine Park. There's the Ridley area, Fort Sill. But anyways, Mears is in here somewhere. So if you live near the Mears area, this is headed toward you as well. And so there's that center of circulation coming right up toward Medicine Park as we speak right now. And maybe another area of circulation up on the north side there. But this right here looks to be the most pressing one. And so this tornado warning continues until at least about 2:30. And so this is going to continue to move to the east about 35 miles an hour or so. And once again, you notice this cluster of storms here starting to get a little bit better organized. That's for sure. You notice a lot of frequent lightning and heavy rainfall with it. And so once again, if you live near the Medicine Park area, the Cache area, up toward the Holy City, Lake Latonka, if you're in these two tornado warnings, you're going to want to go ahead and make sure you're in your tornado safe space, whether that is a tornado shelter or underground, or whether that's the most interior room of the home. Two, if you want to, you can go ahead and kind of cover yourself with blankets, put a helmet on your head if you want to shield and protect yourself from any flying debris that could be about, and mattresses as well. I know a mattress is a little heavy, but if you can do that, that would be good as well. And so this is continuing to move on to the east, bearing down on Medicine Park as we speak right now. Let's go ahead and go back to the velocities. Let's zoom out a little bit. All right, let's go a little bit. Okay, so just checking that north side. So this one right here is still the most impressive area of circulation. And once again, this is getting down to Medicine Park. Let's get down to street level and start to kind of hone in on the streets near the Medicine Park area that this right here is on. So there's 49 right there. And you still see, is that 115? Yeah, 115 right in here where that intersects with 49 going into the Medicine Park area. And so there's the Holy City right there. There's Medicine Park right here. Let's zoom out a little bit so I can see the whole circulation there, just a little bit. And then you have another street over here to the north and east as well. And so there's the center of circulation. There's Medicine Park, State Highway 49. You got, I believe, 58 right in here. And then you got 115 over here. So this right here is right over the mountains as of right now, between Holy City and the Medicine Park area. So once again, if you live near the Holy City, Medicine Park, and also near Mears, you're going to want to go ahead and make sure you're in a tornado safe space, whether that's a storm shelter or underground, or whether that is the most interior room of the home, and make sure that you're away from the windows. Regardless, you're going to see up to 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts anyways, and so we're all going to see a little bit of damage out there probably in this area. And so you can see those gusty winds pulling on through, and a little bit of circulation there with the gusty winds, and that's the tornado warned circulation between Cache and Medicine Park. So if you live in Cache and Indiahoma, it looks like you're just on the backside of the circulation. Not saying you're out of the woods yet, but the center of circulation has moved just beyond the Cache area, bearing down on Medicine Park as we speak. Alex, are there any updates from National Weather Service?
Microphone was off there. I apologize, everyone. No real new updates for that, but we do have. They're still saying that no confirmed tornado on the ground. There is some transient circulations mixed in there here and there, but there's no confirmed tornado on the ground. But I do want to point out here that we have these two tornado warnings that are kind of really tall, and while the circulation we kind of are focusing on the most is Medicine Park, because that does look the most impressive. The city of Lawton, you're still in this tornado warning, and I know we haven't mentioned it as much because the circulation's a little further north, but I would still be treating this like the circulation's coming right over top of you. You never know with these types of systems when we have this very moist environment, and like I called it earlier, transient circulations where they pop up really quickly. So you got to be sheltering in place regardless of where you live in this tornado warning. I know we've been talking about this Medicine Park one because that's where the most prominent circulation is, but everyone in the warning needs to be sheltering in place.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for that, Alex. If we can go to Jared and maybe get a word from Jared on what he's seeing and where he's at, If we can go ahead and get that set up, that'd be great, and just let me know when y'all do. But you do notice we have, oh, there we go. Jared, can you hear us?
Yeah, Barrett, I'm on Highway 62, just across 115 at Cache. With the refuge still being closed from the brush fire incident, I'm going to circle around to Rogers Lane and try to see if there's any chance I can catch up with this thing as it continues moving northeast. But as fast as that rotation area is moving, I'm not 100% sure I'll be able to make it, but I'm going to give it a shot. As far as what I've seen, heavy rain behind this area with the rotation. You've got the strong winds, which we've been talking about. Gusts probably 70, and starting to see some road flooding out here on the highway, and definitely some flooding out in the low-lying areas out in the fields. So that's what we've got happening right now. I'm going to keep trying to catch up with this rotation as it moves to the northeast. And back to you in the studio.
Okay, thank you for the update, Jared. We definitely appreciate it. So once again, he's doing his best to keep up with the storm, but the storm's moving at a pretty good clip, and some of the roads are kind of blocked off from the Wichita Mountain kind of refuge fire from last week, if you will. And once again, hard to see rain-wrapped and how thick the clouds are. You know, it's not the brightest outside anyways. And so we'll go ahead and take a look at the tornado warnings, go back to radar, and Alex has an update.
Yeah, I got two updates. First update is that bottom tornado warning got trimmed up a little bit to where it's lifted now to the north, which includes still looks like the northern half of Lawton area, definitely the Fort Sill area as well. But the southern half of Lawton, you are now officially out of the tornado warning. I would still be sheltering in place, but I mean, the good news for that of staying north of the Lawton area, but we still have that circulation present up there near Medicine Park area. You can see they just trimmed that warning up as well as it continues to move eastward. And then the last quick update I have, you can see the darker red box on your screen that's a little bit bigger than the other two. That's a flash flood warning that just got issued. So heavy rainfall, which is what we've been talking about. This storm has been, if it has a tornado, it's been rain wrapped because we're seeing a lot of rainfall mixed in as well. So there's going to be some flooding concerns.
Okay, definitely. Can you go over kind of what the criteria with the flash flood warning is, kind of how much they say has fallen, how much more to expect?
Yeah, let's go ahead. And we got to keep in mind, too, this is areas that got a lot of rainfall yesterday, so the flash flood warnings are easier to issue. Between 3 and 4 inches of rain has fallen, and there's still another expected couple inches of rain over the next hour. So, this is an area that picked up a lot of rainfall yesterday, and we are seeing another heavy batch of rainfall once again. So flooding on the roadways is going to be a big concern in the area. Then another update I had as well, someone in the studio came up to me just a few minutes ago, just wanted to give me a quick report, that we did have some minor tree damage reported in the Cache area. But other than that, we haven't seen any other damage reports yet, which hopefully that's a good sign, meaning the tornado or the circulation hasn't touched down, but we're going to continue to monitor that as well. Sorry about that. We had to talk about something real quick. But yeah, so we got the tornado warning still in effect here for the Medicine Park area as well as north of Lawton. Barrett, what are you seeing on there?
Well, I'm seeing that area of circulation continue near the Medicine Park area, maybe just a mile north of Medicine Park. You can see that right here with just the reflectivity. And so once again, this would be pretty rain-wrapped and, again, just a very moist environment. So very hard to see out there, that's for sure. This right here is Highway 59. There's Highway, it looks like 19. And so this right here is right on 58 as we speak right now. And there's 49 right there. So 49 intersects the 58. And so it's right between it's on 58, but right between 49 and 19, it looks like there. And so, yeah, that circulation continues to hold and move on to the north and east. And Apache, you all would be next with this center of circulation right here. And you all are just on that tornado warning. We'll go ahead and You all are inside that tornado warning technically, kind of scrapes the city, so the town is in the tornado warning. And you notice this activity continues to move up from the south and west. You notice Edgewater Park right in here, Porter Hill further to the south. Let's go ahead and take an expansive look at both warnings. Go to reflectivity. There's Jared, where he's located, or storm chaser for the day. And you do notice the activity continues to move on to the east there. And let's go to the velocities. Hold it at that position, go back to the velocities. And so you got area of circulation right in here. And that looks to be about the only one for now. Again, there was a little bit of damage near the cache area, some trees knocked over, I believe. And so really don't know if that was maybe a potential tornado touchdown. I would say a potential tornado, but whether it was a tornado or not, can't confirm that. But maybe a potential tornado in the cache area with those trees that have been knocked down. We'd really just have to look at pictures of it to see if those trees are kind of blended up, like, you know, you put them in a blender, kind of chopped up, or if they kind of leveled out on a plain field. Kind of linear, that would be more straight line winds. But if they're more kind of scattered or chopped up, like you threw them in a blender, that would kind of signify more tornado rotation there. But a potential tornado damage there in cache, and that's just what we're going to have to stick to whenever it comes to that damage, is potential tornado damage, but at least high wind damage, that's for sure. Do you all have any other things to add or any other updates?
Yeah, I actually did just get an update.
Oh, another severe thunderstorm warning.
Yeah, about 30 seconds ago, they just put in that for now, they're not too confident with the circulations producing tornadoes, so they've decided that they're going to, at least at this point, not extend the tornado warning, and they're going to just go with a widespread severe thunderstorm warning. So that can always change. We always have to monitor that, but that's good news in terms of the circulation is looking a little bit weaker. But yeah, a big severe thunderstorm warning. It takes up a lot of counties actually. The whole eastern half of Comanche. We have northern Stevens, Grady, as well as the whole southern half of Caddo County as well. And this includes a lot of some bigger cities like Anadarko, Chickasha, Marlow, not quite Duncan. Duncan looks like they're just out of it, but I would still treat it like you're there. If you're right on the line, I would treat it like you're in that severe thunderstorm warning. And it is for 70-mile-per-hour wind gust.
Okay, so we'll continue coverage for now. So a 70-mile-per-hour wind gust associated with this line of storms that are rolling through the area. And this severe thunderstorm warning does include basically areas from Anadarko all the way down to Chattanooga, Duncan, all the way up to Chickasha. Okay, so this right here is the Storm Hunter, powered by Apache Casino and Hotel up here to the left, upper right, I guess. And then to the lower right, you do have the Medicine Park Tower Cam and what we're seeing from the Tower Cam. So this right here is our Storm Chaser shot, and this right here is our kind of Medicine Park Tower Camera shot, if you will. But you do notice this activity continues to move on to the east, starting to get a little bit closer to I-44. Long Lawton, it's along I-44, but of course I-44 starts running away like that, but on the north side. But this right here is the center of circulation, and so we definitely got a little bit of good news from the National Weather Service. They're probably going to let these expire whenever it comes time for them to expire, and then just go with this severe thunderstorm warning pretty much for the rest of the area as it rolls into the eastern areas there. Once again, the severe thunderstorm warning is for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, so those winds still a threat out there. The winds with the tornado warnings were for 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and so if they're doing away with that and lowering the winds from 80 to 70, which are still severe dangerous winds, but at least that's better than continuing the tornado warnings and continuing 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts, that's for sure. So yeah, this activity continues to move on to the north and east. So Anadarko, it's pretty much moving on you all as of right now. Elgin, it's kind of getting on top of you all as of right now as well. And Alex, why don't we take an expansive view of the entire viewing area? We haven't looked south of the Red River in a long time.
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on this storm just on behind the scenes. It's still a severe thunderstorm warning in effect, and the main threat with this has been damaging wind gust. It hasn't There was a brief circulation last time we looked at it, but they haven't really talked much about that since then. So hopefully that could stay like that, and it could just be no tornadic activity. But there is still 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts associated with that severe thunderstorm warning, and that is moving. Looks like it's on the edge of the warning now, so it's about to get to the buoy area there in about 15 to 20 minutes, if I had to estimate. Same thing with Nakona, probably about 15 to 20 minutes as well. So 70-mile-per-hour straight line wind gust possible. This has been more of a Boeing segment type of reflectivity, you can see. So the damaging wind gusts are high down south of the Red River as well.
So yeah, as Alex mentioned, this right here is more of a straight line wind kind of bowing scenario, if you will. And you see it bow right in here. That's probably where you're going to have the fastest wind speeds right there. If we can go to velocities and take a look at the velocity of these storms, you do notice that we're seeing those high wind speeds here from Bowie to Jacksboro, getting into just southeast of the falls there. There's State Highway 287, getting down to State Highway 148. And so once again, some higher wind speeds toward the Bowie area for sure. And Alex, why don't you continue to give us updates?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and we'll jump back up north to the tornado warnings that are still ongoing technically, but the plan is to let them expire here pretty soon. If I'm not mistaken, I believe both of them do expire at 2:45. So there is still a little bit of circulation in there that I can see just visually here on the reflectivity. Let's pull up the velocity, though. It might be a little bit clearer. Yeah, so you can see just a little bit of circulation. If it's in there, it looks like it's staying north of the Elgin area, about to go right over Apache. Right now, just some broader circulation. I'm not crazy concerned about that, but the way how the environment works today is it can spin up really quickly. So Apache and Elgin, I would both be still in your safe places. Even if you're technically outside of the warning, I would be in your safe places with that circulation broadly spinning above you right now. And it's going to continue to race off to the north and east. And eventually, if it continues to at least maintain its strength, the circulation's kind of on a path towards the Chickasha area. It's been moving towards the east-northeast right now. So that'll be something to watch out for a little bit further down the line, as well as Cyril. But right now, the broad rotation over Apache, the plan is still, as of right now, to let the warning expire in 10 minutes. Yes, it does expire at 2:45, so we'll be watching that for now.
Okay, yeah, we'll just continue with this complex of storms north of the Red River for now. And once again, this is getting toward I-44, kind of running up I-44 now. There's Lawton. Lawton, you can see some gusty winds. Most of Lawton is actually out of the tornado warning, which is good news. And again, most of the circulation, though, north of there, kind of west of the Elgin area. And so that's good news for Lawton, but again, Elgin, this is just west of you all. Hopefully it doesn't ramp back up again, but for now, it's looking to simmer down a little bit. But again, you still see these bright reds, and so we're still seeing wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour in these areas toward I-44, kind of crossing the interstate as we speak right now. And Alex, why don't you give us another update here with that severe thunderstorm warning?
Yeah, so as expected, that new severe thunderstorm warning issued a little bit further down the line for mainly North Texas, but that includes also Jefferson County as well. Here's the details on it. So that is quarter-sized hail associated with it, as well as a 70-mile-per-hour wind gust, so still the same exact hazard on the wind side of things, and it is moving pretty quickly, I believe. Yeah, it doesn't say. It goes until 3 p.m., and it's moving at 55 miles per hour. There it is. So, yeah, moving very quick-moving storm here that is just south of the Red River. I'm going to zoom in and show you the cities that are included in this new warning. It is the city of Ryan, the city of Nakona, the city of Montague. I believe there's a couple other ones in there as well. Terrell included in that new warning. And then just outside of the warning is the city of Waurika. But when these warnings are on the very edge of a severe when a city's on the very edge of a severe thunderstorm warning, I like to just throw it in there with it and just say, treat it like you're inside that warning as well. So everyone there, 70-mile-per-hour straight line winds. That's definitely enough to get away from windows and probably be considering that safe place for those two counties.
Yeah. So basically, every severe storm that we have warned out there is 70-mile-per-hour wind gust. And so that's really been the case throughout a lot of the day. When they first got kicked off and started in southwest, they were about 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Then they kind of strengthened up to 70, and then kind of bounced back and forth between 70 and 60. And right now, all the severe warned storms are at 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And so you do notice this line continues to kind of bow and lift up to the north and east. So Nakona, Waurika, you all are next to receive the gusty winds, severe winds, I should say, and the heavy rainfall, frequent lightning as well. And so once again, this will impact from Waurika down to the south and east through Nakona and the Bowie area. If you live in these areas, you'll see up to 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts with this. That's the main threat once again. And so this right here looks to be punching through. Those heavy winds look to be punching through like so. And so the heaviest of the winds will probably be right in here, kind of the center of the severe thunderstorm warning right there. And of course, you'll see some gusty winds on the north side as well. That'll get into Waurika, some gusty winds on the south side there, Buffalo Springs and Bowie. If we can go a little bit further to the south with this severe thunderstorm warning that encompasses Buffalo Springs, there we go. So that's with this storm as well. I didn't know if it continued further south or not, but yeah, so that is associated with this storm. The storm's just lifting further to the north, so they reissued another one there, keeping the 70-mile-per-hour wind gust, and so that really hasn't changed in the last 30 minutes or so with this line of storms that continue to bow out there. You can still see Henrietta, State Highway 82, 287 right in here. And if we can go to the velocities real quick and take a look at the winds, may have to watch this area right in here toward Henrietta, starting to see a little bit of broad circulation around the Henrietta area there on the north side of that line of storms, as you see right there. And so that's something to watch out for as of right now. If we could, it's been about 10 minutes. Let's go back to the tornado warnings and just make sure that they're expired and done away with, okay? Maybe they have another minute or two.
Yeah, they go until 2:45. So we still have 4 minutes before they'll disappear off the map there.
Okay.
I fully expect for sure the bottom one. I'm not seeing anything in there. This top one still has that little bit of broad circulation over Apache right now, but I haven't seen any plans of reissuing that warning yet. So at this point, they're still both set to expire in the next.
Let's go further north up here. Okay, let's go to reflectivity there toward the Carnegie area. Grace Mount. All right, just a cluster of storms here. Could see 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts as far north as Grace Mount and the Carnegie area, starting to get into Anadarko. Really not much in the way of circulation here. I was looking for that when I asked them to pull a radar north, but we're looking pretty good right in here. Just a cluster of storms, some high winds, some heavy rain, and also, speaking of the heavy rain, don't forget about the flash flood warning that's in effect from areas just from Anadarko to Carnegie and further on to the south as well. And definitely have received heavy rainfall last night and again today. And so the flash flooding is a risk out there, obviously, but it will continue to be the risk even into your Monday, because we do expect a third round to come through early on Monday morning. Could come through as early as 3 or 4 a.m., may not come through as late until 7 or 8 a.m., but regardless, we do expect another round of storms as we roll into your Monday morning, either if it's earlier in the morning or later. But anyways, you do notice that this activity continues to move on to the east at about 30 miles an hour. So why don't you give us a new update with that larger severe thunderstorm warning, especially when it comes to the motion of the storms?
Yeah, so it's been moving pretty quickly overall. Wind or the hail size is negligible. When you see that under 0.75 inches, that means maybe there's some penny and nickel size hail in there. But generally speaking, the hail is not going to be a concern. Goes until 3:30 though, so it goes for another 45 or so minutes across the area. 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, so straight line winds, and that is more than your typical severe thunderstorm warning. So I would be at least at the bare minimum getting inside away from windows in an interior room, maybe even taking your safety plan with a severe thunderstorm warning in effect as well. But then the speed of this storm, it is moving quickly, 50 miles per hour towards the east. I can actually go ahead and draw the future track for you, show you kind of when we may or may not, or when we will see that line kind of get to you here in the near future. So we draw it further east at 50 miles per hour. You can see Fletcher, 246, Anadarko, 249, as well as Chickasha, a little further down the line, 309. So, yeah, just find a city that's close to you on the map if you don't live in one of those cities, and that's roughly what your time of arrival is.
Yes, thank you, Alex. And so, once again, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts associated with this. That's the main threat, along with the flash flooding threat as well. But my point is that hail with this really isn't much of a threat. There is a little bit of hail with it, but it isn't severe. You have to have at least 1 inch or larger hail to be severe. It's only 3/4 of an inch or less than that. So once again, you notice this activity starting to bow out a little bit. You have a bow here on the north side, right in here, another one on the south side. Right in here. You kind of have an area in between the two that we'll have to continue to watch. But as of right now, it looks like they're going to let these tornado warnings go and expire here in about another 30 seconds. They should expire here in about 30 seconds. There's the center of that very weak rotation right here, just on the north side of Elgin, just near Elgin. And so we'll definitely feel better once those tornado warnings expire. Should pretty soon. There they go. So that's good news there. So we currently have no more tornado warnings. That's good news, although we still have those gusty winds up to about 70 miles per hour that continue to cross I-44 as we speak right now. Anadarko, there's Chickasha, Duncan includes you. Lawton includes you as well. Definitely some gusty winds rolling through Lawton as of right now. And once again, this is going to be a very heavy wind-driven rain, if you will. And so definitely don't want to be outside. Whenever that's the case, be inside, stay away from the windows. And the reason why is because we still have those 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts rolling through the area. So let's go ahead and take an expansive look at what's going on area-wide, and then we'll just kind of go from there, Alex. Since the tornado warnings are gone, and since we have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings that are for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, we'll take one more kind of round of things, if you will, and then we'll let you all go until further notice. But let's start off down here, down to the south, and give them a little update of what's going on in the southeastern sections of the viewing area. From Waweka to Bowie, you have this segment here, this line segment, moving to the east-northeast at a pretty good clip. And this right here is more of a kind of a line bowing kind of situation, if you will, and that's for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and also a little bit of hail as well. But really with this, it's the same as the other severe thunderstorm warning. The main threat with this storm, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts moving up toward Waweka and the Bowie area. State Highway 82, 287 right there. And county-wise, this is parts of Jefferson County, also getting in parts of Montague County as well. We'll move north and give you all another round up here. You notice that we're having that kind of a similar now, kind of a squall line segment, if you will, bowing out. You can see 2 areas of bowing here, one over here just to the west of Chickasha, another one here just between Chickasha and Lawton. You notice kind of the center there. We'll have to continue to watch, but for now the circulation is weakened enough for them to go ahead and do away with the tornado warnings, which is good news. But 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts associated with this storm as it continues to move east. And also we have that flash flood warning that's in effect for areas around the Wichita Mountains, getting into parts of southern Caddo County, getting into a lot of west central Comanche County. So we'll go ahead and let you all go to your normal programming, and we'll break in if we need to give you further updates.